Sydney, you've got the beautiful woman on the right, that's you. And then Michael, you've got the crazy dude on the left, yeah. Okay.
It's a woman, it's a grandma.
What is it?
It's my grandma.
And then the other two, like for instance, UAW on strike, right? That was obviously inspired.
It was my idea.
Yeah. Did you do it?
I'm just the arm, but she tells me what to do, and I just do it.
To answer that, it's about understanding, like I think a good word you said was grounded, and understanding what grounds you. One, being married and my wife, understanding that if I lose control of my marriage and what's at home, then everything that I do to grow, and I can be traveling everywhere, but if my home isn't, grounded, then it's also going to affect how you continue to move forward. Not necessarily your art or business, but mentally, or just how you continue to grow as a person. And I think that's a huge key. And the word balance, understanding like, all right, I can take this gig next week, but if I'm on the road for 3 weeks, you're gonna go home and it's gonna suffer, even in the sense of your studio work, that's gonna suffer. And just understanding that you don't need to chase everything that's put in front of you. And whatever you have in front of you is to like cherish that, whether it's I'm here, I'm gonna enjoy this experience, and then when I go home, I'm gonna enjoy that time. But I've seen artists that are insanely talented and their career is skyrocketing, but I've also seen them kind of lose control of what also is happening internally. And I think, to me, I don't fantasize the idea of the isolated artist like a Van Gogh or some of these artists that people think are super geniuses, because I think sometimes those stories aren't yet that's inspiring to hear about these artists that kind of went crazy and were geniuses and just did amazing work. I think us growing up as wanting to be artists, we see that and be like, wow, I gotta strive for that. Everything else puts to the side. Everything else doesn't matter. It's my goal, which I think is true, but I also think comes with a lot of heartache. And for me, the way I grew up, I saw a lot of that, and that's not what I do it for. Because also part of my art story is also me as a person. So when people understand my art, but then they also gonna see me as an artist. I want little, brown kids, little Mexican kids, little Latinx kids to be able to see me like, oh wow, he succeeded in what his dreams, but also succeeded as being a human, because we don't get that too much. They tear down our heroes all the time. When you see Frida Kahlo or even Martin Luther King or people, you're like, oh, but also look what happened personally. Not to say we're all successful to messing up or a failure, but knowing that, like I said, whatever we do with our art and also what we do as a human being matters just as well.
Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit.
Not bragging,
I grew up in
Detroit.
Detroit. All right, Sydney's in Detroit. Chicago.
I started doing murals in South Korea, and I don't think they get enough spotlight in the Western documentation of this culture. But every muralist who's in South Korea right now is phenomenal. Their lowest artist is technically 10 times better than me. It's really frustrating, and that's where I started. That's where I started doing graffiti or whatever, and all of them are insanely talented. And it's like this small peninsula, and they're starting to get more representation now because of people like Rorodog who have broken through. But every There's hitters, like just like jacked, like so clean, so technical. They can do 20 styles, and then they're like it like freaks you out. Like they're all way nicer and way better. So if you get a chance to go there, Seoul is crazy good. But yeah, anyone else?
Portugal, Berlin.
Bogota, Colombia.
Yeah,
Prague's got a lot of good
definitely
stuff.
Colombia.
Like South America is
Yeah.
insane right now.
Even Ghana.
Ghana.
Yep.
I was really influenced by the styles in like Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina. Back when I was like a teenager,
Mexico?
like spray paint hadn't really gotten big in South America yet, so the style that kind of mutated there, I always found really interesting. It's a more illustration-based style. It's all hand paint, where it used to be. So some of my favorite artists are from there. Italy as well. An artist named Blue was like majorly big Blue growing up. So
Thank you.
Mexico City,
Yeah.
Johannesburg.
Yeah.
And if you can't go there, watch the trains.
You
They
watch
come,
the
they come to
train.
you.
Yeah. Oh, New Zealand. Australia. Italy. It's bad. Like Paris. It's so many. We're all over.
anywhere's fine.
I'll let somebody follow up on this, but I think it's very important to either be really great or to be really bad, but don't be in the middle, like don't just be good. I don't think an art career will go anywhere with just being good. You have to be really great or be really this is so
Consistently
terrible,
bad.
I like it.
Yeah.
Or this is amazing, you can't pass it up. So just don't be in the middle ground.
But some mural festivals and artist residencies, I would say apply to artist residencies like Red Bull, Crush Walls. That's an application. It's like part application, part invitation. But part of the application process was implemented because they might not know, they don't know all the dope artists out here. So they're trying to discover new talent. So like Google, especially now, like mural festivals are becoming more and more prominent. So I would just Google mural festivals and then whatever pop up, I would apply to all of them hoes. All of them.
I would say even travel to different fests. Like some of the first times, like Miami Art Basel, like go out there, go to, like when I said earlier about being a part of the larger dialogue, travel to the, what's the big show in LA?
Basel.
No.
Oh, you talking about
In LA.
you talking about the container yard?
Yeah, like go to some of these bigger like street art festivals and throw your hat in the mix, throw yourself in there. You know, some of the first times I went somewhere, I went with no one was flying me out, nobody was bringing me out.
Yeah, I took myself.
But you take yourself there, you say I'm here, and then people are like, oh, sometimes artists feel entitled, oh, they should know me, they should fly me out. But you go out to hey, I'm here to work, I'm here to grind, there's a free wall over there, a little corner, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Taking every opportunity you can, but putting yourself out there as well, I think is huge.
And then one more thing. If you do get invited or if you drop in, don't be mad if you get a small wall. Paint the shit out of it. And I never get mad when I get small walls because I'm gonna paint the heck out of it. And I think because most mural festivals are free. So I'm not getting paid anyway. So I'm just gonna paint really, really good on this tiny wall and then just take grand pictures of it. And somebody will hire me to want to pay me. Don't feel shorted or slighted if you get something smaller than a Shepherd Ferry when he comes into town or somebody, or even an Askew or a Rome. Don't get pissed. Just do you the best that you can and then do it better. Take your best with you, but then come out of that hole better. Let that be bolder every time. Right? So let that be your goal. You're never at your best. And learn from go there just so you can learn. Cause you never know. You never know.
To piggyback off of that,
I think one of the most important things is just coming into it with a lack of ego. A lot of people come to like a fest and they're like too afraid to look vulnerable to ask people who are like way better how to do this paint technique or how to get a grid up like that or how to just XYZ. Like if you can go and you just go like, just be upfront if you like somebody's shit, because it's a weird culture. This whole mural culture is like strangely like masculine and like, I don't know, just weird. It's like it's not helpful shit. So if you can come and like dismiss that part and just be like, look, I love these painters. I'm going to make sure to talk to these painters. I'm going to make sure to like ask how they're doing it. On the individual level, it just helps out. I wouldn't have a career if I hadn't messaged a Korean artist named Junkhouse. Like I was painting walls outside, but I was painting with brush paint. I was like carrying like 8 gallons of paint, like 2 hours on a subway, and like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just knew I wanted to do it. And finally, I saw one of her pieces outside, and I was like, I'll never meet this Junkhouse. And she has a Facebook page, and I messaged her, and she got dinner with me like that night, and we went and did walls, and she showed me how to like stuff you should already know. Like I didn't know it, like tarp. I didn't know to like have a professional like clean the edge to my mural. She told me how to mix paint in enough volume to where the whole mural can be done. Just like stuff that like my brain was never going to glue together. So like it's going back to what Sydney said about apprenticeships and like mentoring, but like that's the biggest thing that helped me and got me on a path that ended up having good jobs and good walls and good stuff. But I'd be nowhere without like randomly having asked her and be like, I acknowledge you're a lot better. I really want to do what you do. And then she was real cool about it. She's like 3'5" and terrifying. And she's worried about her career.
That's just what it is. We have to take initiative. We have to buy property. A lot of artists are not even homeowners, let alone the buildings that they're renting for their studio space. Like we are probably the kings and queens, like many others, of wasting money. But yeah, like I know so many and people giving those tours are like old. They are old suburbanites.
They don't know nothing.
They don't even know the artists' names. Like it's crazy. So we have to get like our mothers out because we don't have time to do that shit. But like a family member, like, listen, we need to rent this van and start putting on these tours, like create a touring company. We just have to take the proper initiatives. Because gentrification is gonna happen because we don't have the bulk of the money. You know what I mean? But if we take, and then like group, investments, like, but this is a whole different, this is a way broader conversation. Like, trust this man, hey, let's put up this money and buy this building together. But then, like, what are you gonna do to get that? Because a lot of times we can get like home mortgages, but we can't get commercial property, business mortgages, and it's a whole different beast anyway. Whereas like they'll give you 30 years to pay off a house, which means you probably pay for your house twice. But a commercial real estate loan is 5 years. You got to pay it back in 5 years. You can get it extended to 10 after you have like good standing for a certain amount of years. But it's 5 years that you will have to pay back however many hundreds of thousands, or even if it's $20,000, having to pay that back over 15 versus 5 years, it's a different fee. So artist business needs to be a class, but that needs to be part of the business. What are we owning? How are we like delivering? Like, what are these deliverables? What are our expectations of these spaces? We just put up this mural, and honestly, I think below the stacks, that should be like maybe the second wing of what they do next year. Now we're going to start providing tours of the spaces, but all that funding goes back to the people putting it on, not these randoms that come from, who does Lansing be with? Do y'all be with Jackson? That come from Howell, giving tours. or come from Ann Arbor. That's it. Come from Ann Arbor, giving Lansing tours. You know what I mean? We just have to take initiative, and it takes, we got to do the work. Like what we do is the easy part, but actually like doing that logistical stuff, that's real work. And we got to get aligned with the people that are committed to do that work. But you're right, they make a killing. Get painted over. Like, I don't get attached. It's like a jump off instead of like your main. You know what I mean? Don't get attached.
It's sand painting.
That would be kind of dope if below the stacks build some sort of like protective like barrier around it so that they can stay. So I don't know if you guys have that in the budget for next year. Plaques. If you could get plaques that have our name on there. Okay, I'm kidding, but that's also part of what the draw is too. Kind of like, what's the word? Ephemeral?
Yeah.
You know, I think that it's not gonna be there forever, so you appreciate it. And you never know, someone might go over it in a couple years, or it does fade away. So I think that is just part of the nature of the murals and the street art. Because even my favorite murals as a kid, those start to fade over time, which I hate to see, but it's like you appreciate it for that, like you said, like a timestamp for that period.
There was an art critic who called them like a blind democracy, like public art in general. So you put it up to a city, and if the city defaces it, then it vetoes it. But if the city decides it stays up, then you come to like a blind agreement, like you both voted on like letting it stay. But I'm generally against protective coats. They make this stuff out of Teflon to where you can wash off anything that goes on top. I think that's cheating. Like, I think like the public should at all times be able to deface public work without you needing it to be like, you know, heavy industrial stuff. Hopefully we're doing stuff that y'all don't want to deface. I'm not like hoping you do it, but I like the idea of like there is a vote available for you at all times if you feel strongly enough against public art.
I think to bring something to a city like this is I know you're fighting an uphill battle, because somewhere like Chicago or LA or New York is very easy because it's everywhere. But you know, to bring it to somewhere like here, Lansing, which seems like everybody's receptive to it, but still, it's still new. It's their first year, and I think for the first year, you guys really knocked it out the park with everything. And you know, sometimes you meet people who run these festivals or organizations, and they might love the art of it or the street art of it, or they might love the community side of it, or they might love the business side of it, or whatever it is. But I feel like with interacting with everybody here, it seems like everybody genuinely loves the artist, the art, the community, the culture all together, and you can sense that through everything that's been happening, and I think it's amazing.
Agreed.
Yeah. This is my 4th mural festival in the last 3.5 weeks. And this is by far the most enjoyable one.
Agreed.
I've been at. The people who work for this festival are all individually amazing from what I can tell so far. They've all been super helpful. It's the most organized festival I've been at. Some of the festivals, like Crashes, run 10 years. Powwows run 6 or 7. This is well done, and the community that's coming out have been fun. This kids break dancing and spray paint. It's just been a good time. I look forward to dinner at this festival because I love all the artists that they got. Like, I'm excited to eat and bullshit with them.
And we didn't know each other. Like, some people had relationships prior. Like, we were familiar, right? But we just met in person for the first time, a week ago? 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago now. But you can't tell that he's not my brother. We just met her. I just met you for the first time here. And she's one of my favorite people on the planet now. I just met him yesterday, but it's all, I just talked to you for the first time today, but it's definitely.
I said hi to you yesterday.
I know, but we talked. Like, and did I speak back though? But
I can't find what I said.
but it's really been like the community that it's the the camaraderie that mural festivals are supposed to have. It's amazing that you got it in your first go, and y'all, that's something that you guys should really be proud about.
Yeah. Well, we are out of time tonight, and we're going to wrap up. Could I get one more enormous round of applause for these amazing people? For your thoughtfulness, your generosity, the generosity of your spirits, and just everything you've been bringing to our city, everything you've been contributing and doing. It's been so amazing to hear you speak the words and thoughts behind the amazing images you're putting up. So really grateful. And thank you to Below the Stacks. Thank you all for coming to Reach Studio Art Center. Please don't be strangers. Please come back and see us, talk to us, find out more. I don't want to miss an opportunity to, give a round of applause to Oze and Dustin. It's just amazing. So congratulations to everybody. Is there anything that you wanted to wrap up and say? I want to make sure you have a chance.
I just want to make sure I want to get Seminar sweater because he was bothering me about it for like his last, right before we got on stage. He was hounding me about his sweatshirt. I told you I didn't have it. My wife went and got it, but he thought I stole it.
Thank you, bro.
It smelled like me now, bro. Funky. It smelled good, like detergent. Now it's stank. I'll make sure that's a gift. Yo, so we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Like I said, we worked really hard to put together a group of folks who not only do we appreciate them as artists, but we could tell by their work that it was deeper than the art. It was people focused, human focused, and every person up here, me and Dustin, we're like personal fans. We're like, yo, if they give us some money, we should just invite our favorites to town. Yeah. But the reason why they're our favorites is because you can really see the humanity in their work. And there's a couple of artists here who aren't here tonight. They're on the wall working. Dustin, the co-director, he's on the wall on the north side. Work is on his wall. Wing Chow's on her wall getting busy. Leave anybody out? Max left early. He came early. Knocked it out the park over there at the Lansing Public Media Center, and he's out. He wanted to come back. He had such a good time. He was like, I want to come back, but I have some stuff to do. But man, I wish I would have known it was going to be this feel when I come. And so it's really special to have a cast like this here from everybody up here, because I feel like they represent who we are really well, even if they're from out of town. Some of them from out of town. The locals have been Samsky, I just gotta put some respect on Samsky's name one time, just publicly. He's been holding it down for a long time. We appreciate you, brother. I mean, he's been rocking that parking lot. He was gracious enough to say, yo, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right here. But he's been killing that wall for a while and bringing artists in to get busy there. And so I think it's important just to voice that. There's respect in this. We appreciate folks, and it's human. You know what I mean? And we keep it that way. So other than that, just continue to celebrate. Watch these murals come to life, and make some noise for yourselves for being the inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all make this happen.